Welcome to Call of the Pen. I don't even know what episode it is anymore. We're just going to keep rolling with them. Today, Steve, I don't know, something on my mind. I guess after last night, I yelled at my kid a lot last night, and I feel terrible about it for BMX. And I don't want to yell at my kid, Steve. I don't know how to coach my own kid. I'm a way better coach towards other kids. I'm so much more calm. And I don't know. I need some advice on what do I do with, how do I stay away from my kid without wanting to kill him? Like,
we talk about this often. I think one of the things we've talked about is like letting other parents coach your kids. But the problem comes with that is you don't like what, the other coach is saying or teaching, but you want to teach your kid to respect that coach. And it's like when they come home, it's like, yeah, don't do that. But I think that's one way to do it if you have a coach you respect, right? But at the same time, if you're going to coach your kids, I'm not good at it. I'm working that way, but I always try to teach or treat my daughter in softball field, let's say, like I coach the other girls, where I'm not like getting on her harder because she's my kid. Maybe when I talk to her at home, but like I don't want to yell at her and single her out, and then she gets discouraged and she doesn't even want to play anymore. I've seen it happen. And so, yeah, I just try to do my best of my ability, just, treat her like I treat the other girls on the team and don't make her any different.
how do you hold in the rage? Like this is let's say this is BMX. So baseball, my son obviously doesn't play baseball yet, which destroys my heart. But BMX, I feel like I know pretty much everything I need to know about BMX. And I don't know, sometimes my kid is amazing, and some days, like last night, he's just like brutal, like terrible. And it's like inside rage, because it's just like it's not a team sport. It's just literally 1-on-1 or 1 against 7 or whatever. And I just want him to be consistent. Just be consistently showing up and compete. And last night's a meaningless local race, but we're about to fly to Houston for a national this weekend. So I'm just like, he's been riding so good. And then last night, he just rode like crap. And it was just like inside rage instantly. And I didn't know how to control myself.
Well, what about you when you were closing games? Did you save every single game you went into?
I think I was consistently competing at it, though.
You had your days, I'm sure, where you look back, you're like, man, like I was brutal. You're mad at yourself. Well, it's like it's the same thing with your kid. All right. I mean, he's 7 or he's 8 years old, right?
I think if I was a daughter, I'd be easier. But I think since he's a boy, I think it's easier to let him be the punching bag, which it's not right. I have issues. I'm sure a lot of parents can agree with all this. It's hard to hold back. Like sometimes I got to go for walks.
It's super hard.
When my daughter goes to dance, I know absolutely nothing about dance. I'm like, oh, she did great. My wife's like, oh, she was off on this, and this. I'm like, oh, she's just a girl, like a little girl. Leave her alone.
You know what I think of? So like this happened actually this weekend where my daughter Avery, she's the pitcher, which is coach pitch, but she plays the position. I said, all right, bases are loaded. When you feel the ball, when you just race home and beat the other girl home and step on home plate, because the catchers don't know how to cover yet. It's a work in progress. Right. 8U. So she of course hit the ball to her, and she runs like, I don't know, 3/4 speed there, and the girl edges her out by a step. And I'm like, it's not it doesn't matter, but in my head I'm like, we need better effort than that, and I could feel it like coming on, and I'm like, it's the 8U game. It's only 8U. But it's like that scene from League of Their Own. I don't know if you ever seen that, where like I forget what the girl's name, but she misses the cutoff, and like Jimmy Dugan, the coach, is like like holding it in. So I'm like, Avery, come here. And I get on a knee. I'm like, I'm not going to yell at her. I'm not going to embarrass her. And of course, in front of all these people. And I was like, hey, listen, you need to get after it. That girl beat you to home plate. I think you're faster than that. And she's like, no, I did run. I'm like, I've seen you run a lot harder. Like, you need to give a better effort. Okay. That was it. And after that, dude, she was like lights out. I'm like, all right, I just have to talk to her that way. So I think some kids, you just have to know which ones you can get on and which ones you got to ease into it.
Oh, it's hard. Some days I'm really good at it. Some days I'm really good at it, just letting it go. I don't think, maybe I was tired. I trained a kid at like 6:30 in the morning yesterday.
Yeah, probably tired and hangry.
I mean, then today, I mean, it's a meaningless race. It means nothing in life, but it's something in life.
Well, yeah, you want to teach your kid to be locked in every time. Just give everything he has for that moment, and then after that, go have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus,
Just for that
winning
moment.
winning is fun.
Just be consistent. I don't care about. You don't have to win. Just be consistent with what you do.
Yeah, lost you for a second there, but you probably said something really good.
I said just be consistent with what you do. That relates to anything in life.
No doubt.
Just be consistent. That's all you can ask for. That's how you excel in life and sports and whatever.
Well, another thing too is you want to teach kids, young kids, like even at the high school level or at our level when we were playing, the mental mistakes can't happen. Physical mistakes will happen, right? So like, and that carries over into life. If you're locked in on everything you need to do and you do the right thing all the time, then that's going to carry over into life. But physically, things are going to go wrong. You're going to make an error, or you're going to, I don't know, foot slip off a bike pedal. I don't know what happens in BMX, but you know what I mean? Like you want kids to understand the difference there.
We have I train an 11-year-old kid, and all like when we go to nationals, and this kid is by far the best rider throughout the whole day qualifying and stuff. But all of a sudden the main event comes, and right now he just, I don't know if he's scared or something. All of a sudden he's just butt cheeks tight in the gate and last one out of the gate every time. And it's like, you were literally just destroying everybody all day. And then all of a sudden the main event is just not there right now. But this kid has won many titles, and it's crazy to see. He's 11 now, so obviously maybe emotions are going, or it's a little more sensitive. And I don't know, man. It's just crazy to see like the kids that were at the top, and all of a sudden they just cannot perform.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll come with the turf as he gets older and he wins that first one, gets past that, and it's like, oh, all right, I can do this.
I just told his
first
mom,
championship, but
I told his mom he just needs to get in there and rub elbows one time and survive it again, because he used to win titles all the time when he was 8, 9. But now the last couple of years he hasn't, in the big spot. The kid hasn't rose up, but he's like so good, by far one of the best in the country. I was like, all he needs to do is just rub elbows, because all the kids are growing. He was bigger than everyone else apparently, but now the kids are growing. They're just as strong as him. So
yeah, he's got some catching up to do.
Fight elbows one time and survive it, I guess, and realize, I can rub elbows and not worry about crashing. Obviously, nobody wants to crash. Crashing sucks.
Oh, I wonder if that's in the back of his head too. Didn't he like break his jaw last year or 2 years ago?
Well, that was my son, but this is the other kid.
Oh, I missed that. Okay,
the 11-year-old. 11-year-old I'm telling you about.
Gotcha. Okay, you cut out when you said that. Yeah. Oh. Cool. I mean, you know what it takes to get to the top, to the next level, and you just got to know who you're coaching, I guess. Right? That's what I try to think of. If you can handle getting pressed into, or if you can't, like, you got to know which kid that is. I feel like that's how you get the best performance wise.
I've started to learn that none of these kids these days can take what I say. Like, I have a terrible. That's why I can't be a coach. I have a terrible approach.
They couldn't take it when you were playing, though. I had to talk other teammates off the ledge of like killing you at times.
All I just wanted to do was win.
Do not lay a finger on him. I'll talk to him.
I just want to win.
Yeah, that's great. Teach that to the kids. That's all you get, what it takes to win. That's what it takes. You prepare this whole time. There's no excuse why you can't get out there and get it done. Seen you do it.
Exactly. Anyways. All right, let's talk about baseball.
All right.
Well, how about they bring the Jackson Holiday kid up? He's had 1 hit in a week. What do you do with this? I mean, it's not just like line drive outs. He's getting dominated.
Yeah, I don't know. You got to let it ride for a little bit. You can't just send him down and be like, all right, like right away. Anyways, give it another couple weeks. They're facing who this week or today?
They're lucky they're winning, though. I mean, he's not why they're losing, but obviously they're winning. So it's like it doesn't shine on him yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He looks a little lost out at second base a few times, but
they have an off day today, it looks like.
Yeah, they probably have an off day. No, playing the Twins.
No, they played Twins. There we go. Oh, Pablo Lopez, he's struggling. Yeah. I don't know. You got to let it ride for a little bit.
Yeah, it's only been a week, but let's look at the numbers. It's a lot of punch outs.
I mean, he was killing it in AAA.
Yeah, but there was other kids that were even killing it more than him.
Yeah. But between his spring and AAA, it's like We can't not call him up. He'll be
Yeah,
all
but
right.
they had Tony Kemp, who's not an amazing second baseman. He's a solid player, and they released him for it.
I
I
mean,
guess if you release a player, you're all
no
in.
disrespect to Kemp. He great teammate, by the way. Did you see what he said?
Yeah, that was a great team. That was.
Yeah,
That probably
that was
helps him get
awesome.
another job after that by not being a dick.
Yeah, he was good about it for sure. Anyways, the Orioles. I mean, they're killing it right now. They look good. I'm not worried about Jackson.
For someone that had an amazing eye or whatever, he's got 1 hit, 1 RBI, 1 walk, 12 punch outs.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big gap between AAA and the show. You're not going to get many breaks offensively.
And whatever hole they see, they're just constantly going to the well, and he's not adjusted.
Yep. But look, they're 6-4 in their last 10. They're right up there with the Yankees. They're in a good spot. Let it ride out for a little while. You can't just break the kid right now.
How about the Yankees?
Well, what about them?
They don't even have any pitching. Well, they don't have Garrett Cole. They just have an absolute crazy lineup.
They've been pitching well.
I know.
For the most part, yeah.
They've been getting the job done. That's what I'm saying. They don't even have everyone.
I mean, their team ERA is 3.06. That's pretty.
That's amazing.
Pretty good, and that's good for 4th in Major League Baseball. So,
yeah, for that lineup, that's all you need.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I overlooked them. I didn't think they'd be that good.
Well, it is early,
but they're only a half a game up on it. Well, they've lost 3 in a row, so here we go. Now they're coming back to earth.
They're still 6-4 last 10. They're all right.
They're in Toronto.
Their bullpen is solid. You know, last game I saw Nestor throw, he was pretty decent. And he had a little pump fake in there. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I guess that's what you have to do. You have amazing stuff.
Stroman's killing it. Rodon's been throwing well, or better, I should say, from his first start.
I can only see half.
Actually,
you're not even in the picture right now.
I'm in my picture. Anyways, Rodon's last start wasn't great, but he threw against Miami, which I thought would have been a confidence booster. He shoved 6 innings, 2 runs, but then they had, I don't know if you saw the doubleheader. My boy Cody Petit got called up and shoved against the Indians. Like,
it's your boy,
6 innings, 1 run.
Your boy, like he comes to your house.
Yeah, we play. He was actually my. Before he moved to Texas, he was my golf partner. We had a career long. We have a career long record against each other for golf. And he got a spot start. He threw well this spring. Went down to AAA. Bit the bullet. He had a chance to make the team, but didn't. And then spot start because of a doubleheader and dominated. 6 innings, 1 inning pitch.
Did he stay on the team after that?
No walks. No, they sent him back down.
Yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for your innings.
It's tough, but you know what? Like, you definitely made it difficult for them to choose someone else next time something like that happens. Yeah. Or if another starter goes down.
That guy was good. When he first got called up in Miami, I remember we were playing against him when I was in Philly. He was good.
Mm-hmm. Dude, Miami just kept overlooking him. That was before they were like into all the computer stuff, but he can really spin it, and that's where he's deceiving. And so Miami, we have guys that throw harder, and even though he's sitting 95, and kept calling other guys up, and he just kept rotting in the minor leagues until finally he got a chance. But yeah,
Miami is always loaded with just studs that throw gas, and then they all blow out.
Yep, and they're just I won't get into it. I can't say it on air. Just the stuff behind the scenes.
Oh.
Not with Cody. I mean, in general.
The other kid blew out. The tall kid, the rookie last year. I mean, that's brutal.
Yeah, it's tough. Anyways, hey, your Royals. We were talking about them briefly before we jumped on. I mean, they're looking solid right now. The Reagan's kid. I mean, they lost the game he pitched in, but I mean, he had the lead going into. Was it the 8th the other day? I forget, but he put them in a good spot to win, and the bullpen blew it. But other than that, like, they've been playing great baseball.
They need them to get a better bullpen. They need a better bullpen. Like, what are we doing? I mean, Will Smith, play with Will Smith. He was good, but he's not. He hasn't been good in a while. You can't get him out of the high leverage. Give him a break.
I'm not sure he's the one that gave it up the other day, but
no, he's been giving up a lot of them though. He's got a 12.6 ERA, 5 innings, and a 3 WHIP.
How old is he? Do you have it up?
Yeah, he's 34.
So last year is when it really started to make a turn, right? So would you
Yeah, he
think at
started
that
off
like
good.
32 to 34 range it just starts becoming tough for guys?
It's tough. You got to lose. I mean, look, my 30, what was it? 29. So I was 35. My 35 was my career year, but like I had to lose weight and I had to stay extremely focused. And it says he's 6'5", 255 pounds at 34 years old. That's tough to like be
Yep.
explosive and
No,
replicate.
totally.
And from what I
It's
remember,
amazing.
he's not the guy that he didn't take care of himself great. So I mean, I don't know. Everything might have cut up to him. The guy was nasty, but it hasn't worked in the last 2-3 years.
Yep.
You gotta get him out of high leverage if you're gonna be in this division race.
It's amazing what kind of like lifestyle change happens at like, I don't know, 32, 30, I'll say 33 years old for me in terms of like eating. Like I used to put down like Jenny's ice cream after Cubs games like it was nothing at like 31, 32 years old or whatever. And then when I hit my second year, I'm like, man, my hip's starting to hurt again. Like I need to, I'm eating foods that, decrease inflammation, all that stuff. And
Yeah,
I mean,
I
drinking a
remember
ton of
after
water. Like,
18, going into 19, I lost weight. Like, just changed the way I drink coffee. Everything I drank and stuff. I remember Joe when I showed up to spring training. He goes, "Hey, skinny." I'm like, "Huh?" He goes, "You like you lost a lot of weight." I'm like, "Damn, how fat was I last year?"
You were emotionally eating, Brandon.
I was a very emotional eating and drinking after that trade and getting booed left and right at Wrigley. That's pretty depressing.
I want to say it worked out for you that year, but
18?
the Nats won the World Series. Oh no, that was
Oh
18.
yeah,
Never mind.
it was
Yeah, I say we
18.
did.
No,
I mean, I mean, your 19 year was great,
yeah, my 19 year was great.
and you got to play at
And I got to
Wrigley.
play in Chicago. It worked out. It was amazing.
Awesome. Yep.
The only thing I would change is let the Nats hand me the World Series ring that I was the team I was supposed to be on. That would be nice.
Totally.
Anyways, we're not gonna talk about bad times.
That's for another episode when we want to beat ourselves up.
Another thing I feel like I'm right about is I called it so far. The Astros bullpen it's not working. The superstars you want to put together. I told you it doesn't normally work that way when you take a guy that's been closing for a while and then you take him out of it. It's just they got a 12 and a 9. I mean, you got Ryan Presley and Josh Hader, one of the worst relievers in baseball right now.
I know, it's crazy because they're both obviously really good, but I can't speak for Hader, but for Presley, yeah, there's definitely that, like, I don't know what you call it, like a hangover, but learning curve to get back into those high leverage situations that aren't a save. Like, there actually is a big difference, guys. Like, if you can't compartmentalize, like this isn't the ninth inning anymore. I'm just focused on the eighth and treating that like a save situation. It's hard for guys. It took me a good year to figure it out.
Well, even your routine throughout the day, lead in the game, like I'm sure he used to come out on the 5th and had a whole nice routine for 4 years. This guy was doing the same thing, locked in, knew what to do. And now sometimes he's in the 7th and 8th. Now he's like, shoot, when do I got to go out? Do I go out in the 3rd? Like, what do I do? When do I start moving? And that happened to me in Philly. I didn't know what to do. One day I was in the 8th, one day I was in the 2nd. And they're like, just be ready from the 1st to the 8th. I'm like, that's impossible. Like last year I was a playoff closer. I mean, like I don't know what to do with my hands. It's one of those things.
Yeah. That's great.
It's not going to work. It's so hard. It is so hard. I feel for Presley. It's just a terrible situation.
Yep. No, totally it is. But I mean, he's good enough obviously to be able to right the ship. So maybe there's just a adjustment, adjustment period that's just going to take some time and let someone else step in that role for now, keep him hopefully sharp, and then fire him back in there.
Well, they have a rookie manager. I bet the manager doesn't really understand like communication with a veteran reliever is huge.
But he's been there for forever. He's been there for years. Joe Espada.
I'm just saying communication.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get that's true.
Communication,
and then also you wonder like what kind of relationship he has with the relief pitchers. You have some managers that are tight with relief pitchers. Like you can talk to them, go to them, anything. Like I have no idea. Awesome. Maybe if he's one of those guys with them or not. Like who knows?
Dusty was amazing. I'm sure. I bet they had their personalities are pretty much close. So I bet Presley and Dusty were close. And this other guy, I don't even know who he is.
Yeah, Joe Espada. We had him. Me and him go way back. So
he was with
Spanish,
the Marlins when I was English with an
rookie.
accent, probably.
Yeah. He's a really bright guy. Good coach. Like him a lot. But I mean, those two guys aren't the only ones struggling. I mean, Brian Abreu is an anchor for them the last couple of years, and he's struggling right now too. Honestly,
I don't know his role either.
Maybe not. Rafael Montero has been good. Seth Martinez has been good. And
which is funny, because Montero was brutal the last 2 years, and I mean brutal.
Yeah. One cool story out of that is still that Blanco guy who threw a no-hitter at the first start of the year, and he's still shoving. What's he at right now? Let's see. He's 30 years old, and he's got a .86 ERA, 2-0. So he's the like lone bright star.
30 years old, and he's finally getting a shot. That's crazy. I wonder why it took so long.
I don't know. You know how it is. Some guys, they get it. I mean, he's been up and down for the last couple of years, but like not a, serious role.
Took a no-hitter to stay there.
You know how it is. Yeah, you get that no-hitter, you start feeling it a little bit. And I don't know if he just developed this changeup or not, but he throws it a ton, and it's really good.
It must be the injuries. Verlander, McCullers, Framar. They have a lot of injuries to give the guy.
One thing I would like
to ever come back, then what happens?
Yeah, no, totally. One thing that I would point out with all this, though, too, is we have to remember is that hold on a second. Martin Maldonado had a brain block. He's not there anymore.
There's
a reason why he was catching every game and hitting a $180, because the guy can flat out catch, and he's also a good leader, really good teammate. Locks those guys in. I'm sure Presley loved throwing to him, and they got two new catchers. They got Caratini there now, and who's the other guy? Diaz, maybe. Diaz, is it?
Is it Diaz? Is that his name?
But anyways, two new guys. Actually, was Caratini there last year? I thought he was with the Padres. Yeah, Yainer Diaz. So, anyways, that's tough too. Like if you're struggling and you don't have your guy back there. Oh, he's with Milwaukee. That's right. San Diego was a couple years ago. So, anyways, that's tough.
Where is Molly? Chicago? White Sox?
Yeah, the White Sox.
Oh, he'll get traded.
He'll probably back to Houston. They're probably like, please come back.
He'll be in Houston in the next 3 months.
Exactly. Oh, we had him in Chicago. Remember that?
Maldi's hitting .065, no homers, no RBIs, 191 OPS.
But can you lower your pitchers' ERAs? Yes.
Yeah.
That's what they paid him for. Yep, not great.
37. I remember when we were in Double-A together. That's crazy.
Yeah, he came up with the Brewers, right?
Yeah. He's like a third-string catcher. He was just the organizational guy.
We played with him. We played with him with the Cubs. He's the guy like, hey, when we play the Astros, make sure you mix it up. And we're like, okay.
Yeah,
that's
he spilt it a little bit to us. We'll say
spilt it without spilling it, but we were just like, oh, interesting.
How about Atlanta losing Strider, Fried? I mean, they're still 11-5. They still score a ton of runs, but I feel like they're giving. The Phillies can't beat any of the good teams, but the Phillies beat all the bad teams. I guess it's what you need to do to stay in the fight.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going to happen without Strider.
And then as a team, they're really not pitching that great. 4.47.
No, they're not. They're not.
They rake though, so it's like you play the Braves. I remember my last year when I was with the Nationals, we played them a bunch. They were in our division, and I was like, dang man, like starting pitchers, like if you walk out of this division with like a sub-4, you're doing it. Like the Phillies, Braves, Mets at the time were like
Mets.
Wow.
Even the Marlins were scrappy.
Yeah, Marlins were scrappy.
But the Braves and the Mets.
The Braves they're so good. I got my feelings hurt a couple of times by the Braves.
I don't know. I always threw really well against them. I don't know. I just matched up somehow.
I mean, I still think they're going to win the division. I don't. Did I have them winning? I think I did. You had Philly. Let me see.
I did not pick Philly. I have like a hate relationship against Philly.
Oh shoot! You picked the Braves. I picked Philly.
Yeah, come on, man. And Wheeler's 0-3. They can't score that guy a run to save his life.
Well,
I don't know. Phillies.
Yep. But then they'll turn it on once the deadline comes on.
Let's talk about this.
So
all these injuries with Strider and all these other guys, pitch clock. I never had UCL issues, and then when I went back to try to play for a second, the pitch clock came, and after 2 weeks, I had UCL problems. I've never had UCL problems.
Yeah. I mean, did we talk about this last week?
Well, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean I think the biggest thing is, and I talked to Cressy about this. He also believes that guys are learning a sweeper, and the guys that are getting hurt are the guys that have mixed in a sweeper within the last year or two. There's usually like a break-in period where you're training your arm how to work on these things. Guys in the off season would mess with pitches but never use it during the season. Now guys are just introducing it right away. Like, oh, that looks good. The computers say it's spinning like crazy. Now we're using it, and those same guys that have learned the sweeper have now blown out. On top of throwing, north of 95, and then add in a pitch clock. So like it's like a perfect storm of things going on. It really makes sense. I mean, think about how strain it is. Let's go ahead.
The Meister, the doctor that performed a lot of the Tommy Johns, he said, it's the more of the horizontal movement these guys that are ripping on.
Totally.
Where that he's getting for the Tommy Johns. The way he sees the tear, the way I guess you can see a pattern in the tear.
Mm-hmm.
It's a horizontal torque.
So think about it. Even when you throw a slider, you're still pronating after release. Your hand still, if you're watching, pronates this way, right? Even after a slider, you think you're getting around it, you do, but your hand slides. But introduce a sweeper. Now you're really forcing on like supinating your hand, let's say, and really torquing on it, and you're throwing it hard. These guys are strong. I saw a thing with Pedro's like, you need to strengthen your ligaments, and I'm like, well, I don't know. Strengthen your ligaments. Like, maybe the muscle. These guys are strengthening the muscles around their ligaments, and I don't think that's why they're getting hurt. These guys are, stronger than ever, and they're very specific, baseball specific workouts. But they're introducing a pitch with a ton of torque on their elbow. And so I don't know what the learning curve is going to be with all this from injury prevention, but I don't know, man. The pitch clock just irks me a little bit with all that. Because now not only are you torquing your elbow, you have less time to take a breather, and especially if a long inning, oof.
Taking those 2 seconds off is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I felt it just when it was normal, and I'm like, dang, this is going by fast. Like I was kind of out of breath. And
I feel it.
Now you're 2 seconds off.
Yeah. Now I feel it sitting on the couch watching these guys trying to work out of a jam. Like, man,
I love it as a fan because it moves. Because I couldn't bear to watch a game before, but oh my gosh, being in a player and then not be able to recover from pitch to pitch, and what if you're in Colorado and you're really not recovering pitch to pitch?
Yeah. Yep.
That sucks. It really sucks. We're losing out on a lot of top-notch starting pitchers because of it.
Absolutely. Yep. Anyways. Yeah, no, that's true. Hey, I was looking up some matchups, by the way. Specifically today, there's some pretty good underrated matchups. The Cards, they're 9-9, which I still think they're gonna be all right. I actually like their team way better than I did last year. But you got Steven Matson. He's figured it out this year versus Blackburn. Have you watched Blackburn pitch?
No.
I'm pretty sure. Let me see. I can't. I don't know if he's even given up a run.
You're talking about the A's?
The A's, dude.
There's almost Las Vegas A's. Let's go.
Yeah, is that happening? For sure.
Yeah,
you're gonna have another team in Vegas. Okay.
Yeah, 2028 stadium. Maybe I'll be a broadcaster there. Who knows?
Well, the reason why I asked is because they renovate their stadium within the last couple of years to make it big league ready. Because I remember hearing people pitching
they're
there.
Build a whole new stadium.
Oh, okay, good.
They're tearing down a hotel on the Strip.
Oh, you know what? I'm thinking of Nashville. Nashville was like big league ready, right? They just had to add like another. Yeah. They made it so in case a expansion team came in, they could add on to it as like ready to rock.
Yeah, there's no room where the Aviators play to add on.
I was right. Paul Blackburn, 3 starts, 0 ERA.
What?
Yeah, unbelievable.
How many innings?
He's thrown 19 innings. 19.1 to be exact.
Wow.
Only 11 punchies, but a .72 whip. Love that.
Yeah,
Love that
so he's
whip.
getting it's not luck.
Yeah, no, they play good defense behind him. Like, yeah.
They're better than the Astros right now.
I mean, they're not in first place by any. What's that?
They're better than the Astros
Better
right
than the
now.
Astros. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, they're sitting in fourth place, but still, this is a good bright spot. And they have one kid. Their closer is nasty.
Oh my! He was a starter last year in AAA and the big leagues, and they finally realized let's just let him throw 103.
Yeah,
Put him as a closer, like genius.
Totally. Who's it? Mason Miller? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gross. I like watching him
starter.
play.
It wasn't working. I think he even got hurt a few times. So why, if you have a guy that throws 103, I know everybody wants a starter that throws 100, but it doesn't obviously hold up. So let's put him as a closer, and we need every win possible. Let's put that guy back there.
Well, how's that working out for Jordan Hicks? He's a starter this year.
Yeah.
Look
he
him
doesn't
up.
throw 100 now. He's probably toned it down a little bit, but I think he's doing good.
Upper 90s. You know, like
he stays in the stretch now, simplifies it, simplifies movement, which is, I think, huge for all the starters. If you can't control like the wind up and all this, your balance point, like let's just be efficient. And
totally. Yep. I love that. I agree.
Look his numbers up. Jordan Hicks. That's one thing about young kids. Like, don't be afraid to just ban the wind up. It's not a thing. Like, you don't have to throw out of the dang wind up.
Some guys like it for the rhythm. Like, that's why I liked it. But
if you can't constantly, like, I had a wind up for a while, and then 2016, I freaking realized usually I had a guy on first when I was in the wind up, and I was in the stretch already anyway. So I'm like, I'm so much better out of the stretch. And I could say so many pitches warming up, because I would do a whole routine of a wind up, then I got to do it out of the stretch, and next you know, I threw 35 pitches, and I could just cut it in half.
Yep, I agree.
Jordan Hicks, 1.57 ERA, 23 innings, 0.9 WHIP, so that's working.
Wow,
and I didn't think that was going to work as a starter, but he's getting it done.
That's awesome. No longer a failed starter.
No longer
not a reliever anymore. Anyway,
way
so
more
Steven,
money for starting.
Yeah, Steven, he's probably happy about that for sure. Steven Matz, Paul Blackburn, good little matchup today.
Ooh,
Reed Detmers, yep, Detmers versus Littell, Tampa Bay versus the Angels. Detmers is having a unbelievable start to the season.
That's a Cressy guy, right? I'm sure we'll see.
Yeah, he's trained at Cressy's
performance about his outing or something.
We sure will. But he was I played with him in 2021. He got called up. He's a huge prospect, and he struggled a little bit, but phenomenal work ethic. You could see him like being really good someday. Really good curveball, and I'm just happy to see him figure it out. He actually figured it out a little bit last year, but off to just an incredible start.
He does have a no-hitter in his pocket.
Yep, that's right. He's 3-0 with a 104, and Zach Littell 1-0 with a 117. So it's gonna be nice.
Wow. I like this sneaky matchup. Where was I? I was just looking at it. Dunning and Skubal.
Yep. Dunning an all-star last year, and Skubal is just nails.
Nasty. I'm gonna the Tigers. I would favor the Tigers on that one.
Yeah, if they can get the offense going, that man, Parker Meadows kid, he's in line for Rookie of the Year this year, and he might have one hit so far to start the season. It's tough sledding for him.
Yeah. Stroman Gosman.
Yeah, that's a good one. I had that on there too. Gosman's struggling a little bit, but
struggling. What do you mean a little? He's at a 12 ERA with a 2 WHIP. How does Gosman have a 2 WHIP?
Yeah, exactly. You think that's gonna fly? I don't think so.
No.
And then you're not some household names here, but Andrew Abbott with the Reds versus Bryce Miller and the Mariners. It's a good little matchup.
Yeah, that's a good matchup. Really good match. That's a good game.
Yep. So keep your eyes peeled on those. But I think other than watching Skubal pitch, I want to see what Reed does against the Rays. The Rays are playing well.
Yeah, they are starting to play well. How does Little have a 117?
He's Tampa. They have just like the Dodgers. They have like the magic sauce there.
Jesus.
It's crazy.
Just throw it to this spot. We say your pitch works in this spot. You have to throw it to this exact spot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's some good matchups coming. I mean, and you got the freaking Braves and the Astros freed against France, where Fried needs an outing bad, and the Astros need a win bad. So that's an interesting game.
Well, France does too. I mean, he's sitting on an 8 ERA, but he's going against the wrong team to have a bounce back game.
Yeah,
I mean, it's tough.
and it's in Houston.
Fried, this is a good bounce back candidate for Fried. I mean, Houston's offense is good.
Yeah, they actually. I was looking at their lineup last night. Their numbers are good for Houston. They're just not pitching. They're pitching for crap.
Yeah, they're hitting.
I don't know how long that's going to last, but they're digging themselves.
Verlander couldn't come back any sooner.
Right. They're lucky that division sucks because the leader is at 500. So they're only 3.5 back, and they're 7 games under 500.
Yep. Hey, we've seen it happen before.
Yep.
I don't want to keep bringing it up, but the Nationals 2019, that was just insane.
I can tell you what's not going to happen though is the White Sox. They're 2-14.
They're tough. Other than Garrett Crochet and. You know what? I think because he's such a good teammate. I love playing with him, and he's hilarious. We need to do an Eric Fetty checkup. What's he doing?
He's got a 4.3 ERA, 14 innings, 14 punches, 1-4. I mean, he's
all right.
Like it's serviceable. But he's 3 starts. He's got 14 innings, so he's averaging a little over 4 innings a start.
Yeah, but he was dealing until he faced Cleveland. His last start, 4 runs in 5 innings. So, all right, let's go.
Well, he wasn't. I would say dealing. He went his first start. He went 4 2/3, 2 runs, 7 punches. Then he faced Kansas City, who hadn't figured out yet. He went 5 innings. Then Cleveland, he went 5 innings, 4 runs. So
that's true.
See how it goes.
Let's give him the benefit.
We need to get Daniel Descalso. I'm going to ask Daniel Descalso, the bench coach for the Cardinals, to come on. I want to get the input from player to in the dugout type of stuff.
Hey, that'd be a good one because that's the one team we chose to win the division. So we can really butter him up.
I tagged him on Instagram a couple weeks ago to stop screwing up. They were my pick for the division. Tell him to make smarter decisions.
Did he respond?
No, he didn't respond. But he did tell me when I text him about it, and he goes, "Sorry, Joe Torre." Like,
oh yeah. Well, look, those are good matchups today. Parents, stop yelling at your kids, especially on the field in front of everyone else. Brandon.
Oh, that's so. I did it in front of his friend. That was even worse. His friend probably went and told his parents that Knox's dad's crazy.
Their parents are probably like, "Oh man, we want him as a coach."
I'll coach anyone else's kid but my own. Anyway, all right. Well, we'll see you guys next week. We need subscribe and follow, share if you guys want, and hopefully we get another. If you guys have any questions or ideas or guest ideas, let's get someone on here. Other than that, we'll talk to you guys next week.
Yeah, fire some questions at us. We love answering those. All right, man.
See ya.